Hello and welcome to the Autistic Witch. This is my little channel that I've made dedicated to being autistic and being a witch. And this is where I share my thoughts on my practice and how I use them in my day-to-day life. So today is the 2nd of February and I've just missed Imbloc. But having said that, when it comes to the timings of these things, I think they are sometimes, we have this kind of strict calendar that says, oh yes, this date is this. But actually sometimes it can also be on how you feel as well. But anyway, so Imbloc is a time when we can welcome back the sunlight, welcome back the warmer days. The days are getting longer and lighter, and I just wanted to acknowledge that by making a little video. And also what I wanted to do today was to talk a little bit about crystals and how I use crystals in my practice and around my home. So according to Glynny Kindred, who I often reference, one of the important trees of Imbloc is the rowan, and I actually have a rowan tree at the back of my house. It's quite a powerful protective tree. It's got a lovely protective energy to it, and I have talked about this before in my videos. And the rowan tree was last night. I could see the moon shining through the branches and it was calling to me. It was saying, you need to make a video, you need to get this out there. So hence why I'm doing this today. So in this session I wish to look at crystals and how I use them throughout my home. They're often used in jewellery and things such as rock salt lamps. Today I'm wearing a bit of lapis lazuli to help with communication around my throat. And yeah, I actually trained as a crystal healer over lockdown, and I started to use crystals a bit more seriously, both in my practice and to help me energetically and with my own healing. Now, unfortunately, my health hasn't been great, and one of the problems or challenges of being a healer is you really need quite good health yourself. And one of the tenets of healing is you really need to be well enough to carry out the healing, and you cannot give what you personally don't have. So I chose to give up my crystal healing work, or certainly doing that for other people, and I chose to channel it to really help myself and into my witchy work. So of the various crystals I've got around my home, there are a couple of key important ones that I wish to cover. When I first moved to my home, there was a couple of things going on energetically that were really bothering me. Now, being autistic and very sensitive, I'm very sensitive to energy, and I can feel it if it's draining me or if it's quite intrusive. And what I found in my home was there were a number of areas that just didn't quite feel right. For example, in my living room, when I did a bit of meditation, I could sense it felt like an underground river flowing quite quickly as well. I had the vision in my third eye of this fast flowing underground river that was gushing underneath my living room and flowing out towards the main river, which runs at the back of my house. I've got the River Tyne at the back of me. So yeah, that was quite a draining energy. And also my living room faces north, so it was a much colder room, and there was a main road, is a main road that runs alongside the front of the property. So energetically wise, in my living room, I'd got this main road that runs right past. I'd got this fast flowing underground river that I sensed. I'd got another river at the back of me. And also there was a lot of electrical activity too, because there's actually a big substation at the back, one on the other side of the river and one at the side of me. So I'd got all this electrical energy too. And what I wanted to do was to create a much calmer space. It did feel intrusive and oppressive, actually. And I think oppressive is the right word. I felt it was very draining. So I wanted to create effectively a crystal grid around my home to help disrupt this energy. I also disrupted it using colour too. So for example, in my living room I have a lot of warm earthy colours, and where I could feel this river underground, I placed a very earthy red coloured rug over the top of that carpet. And as I say, I have very earthy, rich, colourful paintings in my living room that are all oranges and reds and that sort of thing. One of the important crystals, though, that I began to use was a crystal called black obsidian. And here's an example of the chunk that I have. So this is a natural chunk. It's actually volcanic. It's volcanic glass. And as the lava has cooled quickly as it's come out the volcano, it's formed this beautiful, like glossy glass rock. And it's really, you could almost sort of see the imprint and the imagine the lava flowing out, you know. But anyway, this is a rock made from fire, made from the heat, and the fiery energy of this black obsidian I put in my north facing front living room just to help balance out that energy. It's also a very grounding rock too, and it's about sort of just calming that energy down, helping to ground it and helping to disrupt all the energy that is also flowing underneath from that river. So that has been a very important rock for me, and to help just to sort of help calm things down in my home. And I have a number of other stones around my home. And another one that I use frequently is this. So you will see this is amethyst. And I really love the calming, soothing energy of amethyst. This again is just a beautiful natural geode, and is very beautiful. Amethyst is, as well as being having a very calming energy, it's also really good for sleep. And being autistic, I have a lot of sleep problems. So as well as having various bits and pieces of amethyst around my home, I also have put some underneath my bed to help specifically with sleep. Now, amethyst is part of the quartz family, and obviously you can have quartz stones such as this. This is clear quartz, and clear quartz you can program, but because amethyst is part of, as I say, the quartz family, you can also program amethyst too. And what I have done with this specific piece of amethyst is I've asked it to create a nice, calm, peaceful energy in my living room, so it disrupts all of that. And the piece that's underneath my bed, I programmed and asked that to help me specifically with sleep. Doesn't always work, but you know, we've got to give these things a try. Now this piece of crystal is called rose quartz. It's a very beautiful, delicate pink. Again, part of the quartz family, can be programmed, but it's often referred to as the love stone because it is associated with love, relationships, and it also has a very peaceful, calm energy too. What I found with rose quartz specifically is I found it really helpful for loving and respecting myself. And I think, as many people will recognise, when you have been undiagnosed for a long period of time, you might have a lot of negative beliefs. You may have been told a lot of negative things, and so these negative beliefs can be stuck. And what I wanted to do was to challenge all of that, to challenge these ideas that I am a weirdo and a freak and all of that stuff, and just go, no, this is just me. This is my autism. I am not, some freak. I have this disability, and I think this has been really important for just helping me with self-love and respect. Another crystal that has been really important for self-love is fluorite, and this is an example of fluorite. Now, fluorite can come in different colours. Most commonly it comes in green and purple, and this is predominantly green, but it has, I don't know if you can see, but it has little flecks of purple running through it as well. Now, fluorite is a lovely crystal for helping clear negative energy, and also helping you clear negative thinking too. It's good for clarity, and one of the things that I've found is just helping me focus, helping me get clarity back in my life, and working alongside all these crystals. They're designed to work together, and for me, I found that really helpful, and I often have them placed next to each other, or have them in places where they can just complement one another. So the rose quartz for self-respect and self-love, and the fluorite for helping clear those negative thoughts and that negative thinking. These two, have sort of really helped me in doing that. And sometimes, I see a crystal and I know nothing about it. I know nothing about its properties. I might not be able to recognise what it is, but I'm just drawn to it. There's this energy that it seems to emit, and it calls to me. And this is one such stone that called to me. You'll see it's very beautiful. It's got this beautiful veining and this beautiful iridescence to it as well, and it's got these little shimmery glimmers in it too. It's very beautiful. This is called blue apatite and it's for me, it was just, I could just feel this was the right stone. And it turns out that this stone is really good for helping you achieve goals, manifest things, all that sort of stuff. So it was a very instinctive choice, but just something that actually turned out to be right for me. one of the final things I wanted to talk about is the ethics around crystals, because unfortunately, like a lot of things, I discovered that there was a whole load of ethical issues attached to crystals. I found really disturbing to discover that they are mined in countries where child labour is used, for example, where terrible conditions exist, and also where there's no safety for those mining them. And it's really difficult, I discovered, to track where a crystal is from. Often they have no record. It will just say South Africa or Nubia or Africa or wherever. But there's no record of how it has been mined, who's mined it, and also there's kinds of trauma that might have been going on behind in that country. So what I found myself doing was I'd gone from buying lots of crystals to suddenly I stopped buying them as much. But what I felt was really important was just to take great care in cleansing them. This was really my only sensible solution that I could come up with, and to ask that the crystal was cleared of any trauma, any conflict, any negativity associated with its mining, and to ask that those involved were helped a little by hopefully me buying that, and that they had a little bit of money, but also to send them this positive energy and love back. I realised that there's little else I can do, because, you know, when you try to find ethical suppliers, again, it's actually quite difficult. There aren't many out there. And what I found was when you're delving into these things, it's just really important to be aware that there's this whole process involved in getting these beautiful stones out of the ground and into your home. So I just wanted to flag that up and make people aware that there were ethical issues, and that it's, you know, if you can find an ethical supplier, please go with that. You know, please consider these things too. Anyway, thank you for watching and listening to my crazy little videos. I enjoy making them, and I hope that you've enjoyed watching it. So thank you very much.